So Adam Montgomery wants a new trial.
So I understand that I was found guilty by a jury, and I'm not here to dispute that at all. The only consideration that I ask of you this morning is for you not to consider anything as it relates to the case regarding my daughter Harmony. I did not kill my daughter Harmony, and I look forward to my upcoming trial to refute those offensive claims.
Falsifying physical evidence, abuse of a corpse, and witness tampering. He was only present for jury selection, his absence noticeable from opening statements to the reading of his guilty verdict.
But do you think he was present in the New Hampshire Supreme Court while these arguments were made for him to have a new trial? Do you think that he has given up any information about where 5-year-old Harmony's body is? His daughter, who he's convicted of murdering, and he carried her body around for quite some time after she died.
Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share.
It's truly horrifying. So if you've never heard of this case before, it comes with a huge trigger warning. It's one of those that will haunt you. It's disturbing what Adam Montgomery did. So for him to not even hear this, if you didn't know this guy did not even go to the courtroom for his own trial. He waived his appearance. He had the right to do so. So every morning they asked, "Are you going to attend today?" No, thank you. He was there for jury selection and that was it. He decided to sit this one out. Oh my word. This is the biggest coward career criminal I think we've just about ever come across. And that's saying a lot because we've seen a lot of cowardly criminals, right? So today I'm going to recap the case for you. My name is Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime. I hope that you'll consider subscribing and becoming part of this fantastic community. And so we're going to go over things, right? And then we're also, the reason I'm doing this is because, oh my word, he's back in the news. This guy is asking for a new trial. Now the judges at the Supreme Court, they have to, the justices, right, honorables, they have to decide if he's actually going to get one. Now I think he won't, but this decision could take months. So whenever that update arrives, make sure you check the pinned comments of this video because I will post it there. And I hope to write denied. One word, denied. Denied, Adam. Just shut up. This guy. Okay. So let's start at the beginning. Harmony was born on June 7th of 2014 in Massachusetts to Crystal Renee Sorrey, then 24, and Adam Montgomery, 25. Now, when Harmony was born, Adam was behind bars because remember, he's a career criminal, and he was serving time for armed robbery and other charges stemming from his long history of violence and criminal activity. Like, this guy is not only abusive to men and women, but also to children, to a beautiful little girl. I mean, just look at her. Okay, so Crystal, struggling with her own demons, including substance abuse, was unable to provide a stable home. So just days after Harmony's birth, reports of neglect already prompted an intervention from the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families, or DCF. And by August of 2014, when Harmony was only 2 months old, she was removed from her mother's care and she was placed into foster care. Now, over the next 4 years, Harmony bounced between foster homes, a vulnerable child with special needs. She was partially blind in her left eye due to a congenital condition and required ongoing medical attention. Like, the short life that Harmony lived is really heartbreaking. During this period, Crystal lost custody, not only of Harmony, but also of her other child in 2018 as her addiction issues persisted. Adam, meanwhile, was released from prison, but remained largely absent from Harmony's life. Father of the year, hey? He had a troubled past. Born in 1990, Adam grew up in a dysfunctional family, experiencing abuse himself, which of course, if we were to psychoanalyze him, okay, but it still doesn't excuse anything he did. He married Kayla Montgomery, we saw her testify at the trial, in 2016, and they had 2 sons together, SM, born in 2017, and DM, born in 2019. Kayla, too, had a history of instability, and the couple's relationship was marred by drug use and poverty, and apparently him beating children up. Despite this, in late 2018, Adam petitioned a Massachusetts court for custody of Harmony. Like, why do that? Fought for custody for Harmony. And he should have been denied right then and there. But there were some major oversights. Yes, astonishingly, on February 7th of 2019, a judge granted him full custody after a hearing where DCF's opposition was deemed insufficient. Harmony had spent only 20 supervised hours or so with her father up to that point, so practically a stranger to her. Scary man, covered in Pennywise tattoos and all sorts of things, his little teardrop, because he's such a career criminal, and yet he got custody of her. Now, I still want to see some silver bracelets or accountability for that judge. That was terrible. How on earth did this guy who had just gotten out of prison get custody of this beautiful little girl? How did they think he was going to take care of her? Well, he took care of her in his criminal way. He killed her within months of her being there with him. The custody decision was a catastrophic failure. I mean, that's an understatement, as big as that word is. Catastrophic. A 2022 report by the Massachusetts Office of the Child Advocate, led by Maria Mosaides, detailed how DCF failed to thoroughly assess Adam's fitness as a parent. I mean, he's not a parent's ass. They didn't conduct a comprehensive home study. They overlooked his criminal history. I mean, how do you do that? How do you overlook his criminal history? He was incredibly violent, okay? Including domestic violence and gun charges. And they ignored every single red flag, including his unstable living condition. I mean, he was also on substances pretty much all the time. The report stated bluntly, by not putting her and her needs first, our system ultimately failed her. We owe it to her to make the changes necessary to prevent this from happening again. Interstate coordination between Massachusetts and New Hampshire was also lacking. New Hampshire's Division for Children, Youth and Families, DCYF, was notified of the placement, but they did little follow-up. Oh, we've seen this in so many cases. It's so frustrating. Harmony was moved to Manchester, New Hampshire, into this home on 77 Guilford Street, where she lived with Adam, Kayla, and their 2 boys. The family relied on food stamps, which they often traded for substances. Do you think they used the food stamps to feed their children? No, or themselves. They traded it for substances. So that left them in dire straits. Life for Harmony in New Hampshire quickly turned nightmarish. I cannot imagine how alone she felt, even though she had her 2 half-brothers right there beside her. And I'm sorry to insert this at this moment. It'll probably give us all PTSD from the trial. But she died right there in the vehicle that Adam, Kayla, and the 2 brothers, in Harmony, were living in. They were living in a vehicle at the time. She died in that vehicle with her little brothers beside her. That'll probably haunt them for the rest of their lives. Because they were very young, but once they learn about all the details of what happened to Harmony, who was in the vehicle with them, oh man. So, abuse began almost immediately. In July of 2019, Adam allegedly punched Harmony in the face, giving her a black eye. His uncle, Kevin Montgomery, visited the home on July 22nd of 2019 and noticed this injury. Alarmed, he reported it to DCYF the next day, describing how Adam had bragged about bashing Harmony. Kevin told investigators that Adam said he bashed her around the house. Oh my goodness. Am I going to make it through this video? Like, this guy, it's not even snark. He makes me feel pure rage. Okay, who brags about bashing around a beautiful 5-year-old girl who's partially blind in her left eye? The sweetest little girl. You're bragging to your uncle that you bashed her around. She's got a black eye, but when DCF shows up, you're like, oh no, she just hurt herself on a new toy I got her or something. And they believe him? Okay, so tragically, DCYF investigated but closed the case without removing her, citing insufficient evidence. The black eye wasn't enough for you, huh? This was another glaring systemic failure. Reports indicate the DCYF received multiple tips about the family's instability, including homelessness and substance use, but they failed to act decisively, or act at all, really. As one later review noted, the agency prioritized reunification over child safety, a policy flaw that echoed over state lines. Like, you so badly want to unite a foster care child with her dad, but you don't even look into that the dad is a career criminal, a killer, a violent man with more charges than one can actually summarize right here. By late 2019, the family's situation got even worse. It deteriorated further. They were evicted from the Union Street apartment on November 27th of 2019 for non-payment of rent, forcing them to live in the Chrysler Sebring sedan. Now, if you watched the trial with me, you could see it, right? Remember, we saw pictures of the house. We saw pictures of the vehicle, and I'm just feeling that all over again. It just makes you feel like cold. You know when your heart just sinks and you feel like cold all over from how shocking this is? How scary this must have been for the children? Harmony, now 5, struggled with potty training amid the chaos. And of course, because she was being abused. So that's also a sign of that, right? The trauma is showing up in that way too. And so these accidents that she would have absolutely infuriated Adam. On December 7th of 2019, the day that would end her life, the family was driving to a methadone clinic in Manchester. According to later testimony from Kayla in her proffer interviews with the police, Adam snapped when Harmony had another accident.
He could smell urine, and he started yelling at Harmony and kept hitting her in the head repetitively.
But do you think that Adam wanted to hear from her if she said, Daddy, I need to go to the toilet or something? He would get mad at that. They were living in a car. There's not a bathroom to go to. She was probably terrified of him. And then when she, wets her pants in the back of the car, terrified to even say anything, he beat the crap out of her. To the point where on this day, December 7th of 2019, he killed her. Kayla said that Adam got so mad, he pulled over and he began beating Harmony repeatedly in the head and face with his fist, yelling obscenities at this 5-year-old child. Kayla recounted he was punching her and she was crying. He said, shut up, and he kept hitting her. Specifically, Kayla described Adam delivering 3 to 4 blows with a closed fist to Harmony's face and head on 3 separate occasions over a few minutes while driving.
She was crying a lot.
She was crying a lot?
Yeah. And she was making a weird noise.
Was she saying anything?
No.
Adam reportedly said words to the effect of, I think I really hurt her this time. I think I did something. Harmony began making a moaning type noise, which went on for roughly 5 minutes and then stopped. What did they do? They continued driving. They stopped at Burger King for food. You heard that right.
I asked to go to Burger King.
You asked to go to Burger King?
Yes.
Harmony has just been beaten to death. Moaning for 5 minutes, they cover her with a blanket and they go to Burger King and they get food. and then they used substances. Hours later, they realized that Harmony had actually stopped breathing and that she was dead. Again, it gets worse. What followed was a grotesque cover-up that spanned months, detailed extensively in that horrifying probable cause affidavit for Adam's arrest, which we read through. It's on the playlist. Adam folded Harmony's tiny body into a duffel bag.
Did you see him put Harmony in that duffel bag?
Yes.
How did he put her in there, Kayla?
He folded her in half and put her in the duffel bag.
Initially storing it in a cooler at his workplace, a restaurant called Portland Pie Company. Kayla testified that Adam placed the bag containing Harmony's body in the cooler in the common hallway of the apartment building before they were evicted. When the family moved into a shelter on Coolidge Avenue, he hid the bag in a ceiling vent. So this bag with Harmony's body folded into it. He took this bag everywhere. It's in the ceiling, it's in the cooler at work, it's in the vehicle, it's in the hallway. Oh my goodness. Now when he'd put the bag into the ceiling of the shelter on Coolidge Avenue, Kayla described the smell as becoming unbearable. She said it was like rotting meat. In February of 2020, they thawed the body in a bathtub at 644 Union Street, compressed it to fit into a smaller CMC maternity bag. And Adam apparently used tools like a saw and lye to attempt to dissolve and dispose of the remains, or just to fit Harmony's remains into a smaller bag. Kayla explained how Adam ran hot water in the shower to thaw Harmony's frozen body, squished Harmony's flesh to make it easier to fit, and even cut off her clothes. He then placed lime in the bag to help with decomposition. By March of 2020, while living in an apartment on Lake Avenue, Adam placed the bag in a refrigerator. Finally, in May or June of 2020, he rented a U-Haul and dumped what was left of Harmony's body somewhere along the Tobin Bridge area in Massachusetts, although her remains have never been found. Searches yielded nothing, and they're still searching for any part of her. No one reported Harmony missing for over 2 years. She was last seen alive by outsiders around Thanksgiving of 2019. Adam and Kayla continued claiming welfare benefits in her name, committing fraud. Crystal, her biological mother, who had gotten sober and was trying to reconnect, grew suspicious when Adam didn't bring Harmony for a planned visit in November of 2021. After confronting him on Facebook, and then being blocked because he just started blocking people, she filed a missing persons report with Manchester police on November 18th of 2021. Remember, they believe she died on December 7th of 2019, and she wasn't seen by anyone else since Thanksgiving of 2019. Shame. For 2 years, no one even knew she was missing. Police publicly announced the search on December 31st of 2021, and they set up a tip line with a $150,000 reward. So what was Adam's initial story? He claimed he dropped Harmony off with Crystal around Thanksgiving of 2019, but inconsistencies piled up as detailed in police interviews. We've also watched his police interview, so that's also on the playlist if you want to go check out that interrogation. The investigation ramped up early in 2022. On January 5th of 2022, Adam was arrested, and he was charged with second-degree assault from the July 2019 incident, endangerment, and witness tampering. Police searched the Guilford Street home where the family had briefly lived. Kayla was arrested on January 4th of 2022, initially for welfare fraud and later indicted in March of 2022 for continuing to claim benefits for Harmony post-death. She initially lied to police, but flipped in June of 2022, pleading guilty to perjury and agreeing to testify against Adam in exchange for immunity on lesser charges. She was sentenced to 18 months on November 18th of 2022. Kayla's proffer interviews provided chilling details. She described the beating, the cover-up, and how Adam compressed Harmony's body by folding her in half and using a saw on her remains. Forensic evidence corroborated much of Kayla's account. In the Chrysler Sebring, investigators found a pink Trolls electric toothbrush with Harmony's DNA. At the family's in transition shelter on Lake Avenue, a search of the ceiling vent revealed staining consistent with decomposition fluids and fingerprints matching Adam on the metal framing. DNA testing on the sheetrock showed a profile of 4.1 billion times more probable if it originated from Harmony and an unknown person than from two unknowns. At 644 Union Street, number 2, Blue Star reagent reacted in the mini fridge, indicating possible blood, and maintenance records confirmed a weird smell from the vents shortly after the Montgomerys left. Meanwhile, in an unrelated case, Adam was convicted in August of 2023, there was a whole separate trial for that, on gun charges, possessing stolen firearms, and sentenced to 30 to 60 years. The murder trial began on February 8th of 2024 in Hillsborough County Superior Court in Manchester, presided over by Judge Amy Messer. Adam, then 34, largely boycotted the proceedings, appeared only sporadically. For jury selection. And then I think it was for sentencing. It was either the verdict or sentencing. Prosecutors presented gruesome details through Kayla's testimony, describing the abuse, the fatal beating, and the cover-up. Other witnesses, including Adam's relatives like Uncle Kevin Montgomery, corroborated the pattern of violence. Friends like Travis Beach and Christina Lubin recounted Adam's admissions and the family's nomadic life. Police officers described finding traces of decomposition in ceilings and vents. Forensic experts confirmed human remains evidence, though they've never found Harmony's body. The defense argued reasonable doubt, claiming Kayla was an unreliable star witness motivated by a plea deal. They suggested Adam's violence was exaggerated and that Harmony's death might not have been intentional murder.
Adam Montgomery was no loving, caring parent, but an enraged tyrant who had no business being around young Harmony. Find him accountable and find him guilty on every single one of these charges.
After 2 weeks, on February 22nd of 2024, the jury deliberated, I think it was for 2 hours on the day they started deliberations, like in the afternoon. Then they went home, they came back, deliberated for about 4 hours. And they found him guilty on all counts, which was second-degree murder, second-degree assault, witness tampering, abuse of a corpse, and falsifying evidence. Sentencing was on May 9th of 2024. Before the sentence, victim impact statements were read, which was very emotional.
You robbed a 5-year-old girl, your own daughter, of the life that she was to lead. You stole from your sons a sister. You took a daughter from her mother.
Crystal Sorrey addressed Adam directly. She said, "You're just plain evil. She had a life worth living, unlike your own, and it bothered you to your core that she was nothing like you and everything like me. With or without you, we will find my daughter." Kayla, reading her statement, said, "Harmony died because of your anger and hitting her so many times. Harmony's half-brother, Jamison's adoptive father, tried to submit a statement on his behalf, but the judge limited it, citing the boy's young age." Judge Messer sentenced Adam to 45 years to life for murder, plus 11 more years for other charges, totaling a minimum of 56 years consecutive to his gun sentence, ensuring that he dies in prison. During the hearing, Adam maintained his innocence in the murder, but admitted to the abuse of a corpse and tampering charges. Okay, dude, as if that's not horrifying enough. You know, because the abuse of a corpse, what was described happening in that bathtub is enough to disturb anybody. So you're capable of doing that? Yeah, no, you're capable of everything else. He's got a long history of violent criminal activity, including murdering his daughter. Post-conviction developments included Crystal filing for a wrongful death lawsuit against Adam. Now, on March 12th of 2024, a judge declared Harmony legally dead, appointing Crystal as estate administrator. She filed a wrongful death suit, but on September 30th of 2025, it was dismissed due to improper service. Now, the thing is that it's been reinstated. So it was initially dismissed, and then her attorneys said that there was just a clerical error, and so now apparently it's back on. Okay, so Adam had been transferred out of state for safety. Now here we are with why he's back in the news. He appealed his conviction in early 2025, arguing 3 errors: improper admission of a silent police video from 2021. We, the public, could actually watch that video pre-trial with sound. It's when the police approach him while he's living out of his car.
You just need to find out where she is. That's all I'm concerned about. I mean, you're not in any trouble right now that I know of. Okay. You have no warrants. Okay. So, where's your daughter so we can check on her to make sure that she's okay? Right now, I have nothing to say about it.
Now, I don't know if it's his ego. Is he like too embarrassed? Is he like, what is the problem, dude? But they did mute it for the jury. The jury could only see the silent version of this video. And to this day, he has a problem with it. Like, why were they allowed to see that? Okay. Then the next argument is a wrongful joinder of the assault and murder charges and inclusion of the uncharged bad acts like prior abuse. Okay, so he wants the murder charges separate from the assault charges. Yeah, no, we want those together because it paints the whole picture, right? On October 15th of 2025, the New Hampshire Supreme Court heard oral arguments. I will link the full hearing in the description box for you. To me, it's what we've listed here. That's what they argued. And I was just so pissed off that Adam wasn't in the courtroom. I could barely look at this hearing. I'm like, this hearing, it's part of the legal process. I understand that. But I hope it gets swiftly denied. But let me tell you, if he gets a new trial, we'll watch that together all over again. I don't know. Will he again not show up in the courtroom? Probably. Oh man, just make us all so mad, right? Okay, so Adam's lawyer, appellate defender Pamela, I don't know how to say the surname correctly, Palan, I think, contended that the video violated his Fifth Amendment rights by inviting jury speculation. They couldn't even hear anything. The state countered it was relevant and non-prejudicial. On the joinder, the defense claimed separate trials were needed to avoid bias. The state said the charges were interconnected. I agree. For intrinsic evidence, they argued that Kayla's testimony about weeks of abuse was inflammatory. Prosecutors called this essential context. A ruling is pending. Okay, we don't know when they will rule in this. They say it could take months. I mean, it could take days or it could take months. So I'll keep you posted. But legal experts are saying that this appeal is a long shot, given the judge's careful rulings. And that is where we stand on the case. That is a recap, an overview of Harmony's case, which, oh my goodness, is it not just so devastating to think of what happened to poor 5-year-old Harmony? And she was close with her half-brother, right? And they were separated. And she had to go live with freaking Adam and Kayla. And imagine being those 3 little kids in the back of a car after they got evicted. They're living in a car with these 2, Adam and Kayla. They were pretty much high all the time and violent. And literally to the point where Harmony could be beaten to death and they can go and get Burger King. No, things like that will just forever haunt me. Now, Kayla's out. Remember she got out on parole? Oh, man. Her parole hearing, we watched that together too. That was pretty upsetting. They went pretty easy on her. Go watch it if you didn't see it. Let me know what you think. Go comment on all those previous videos as well. I look forward to reading your comments. What are your thoughts on this? Does it make you mad too, or is it just me? Oh, this guy. Whew. So, I'll keep you posted. Justice for Harmony was served. I do hope that one day they do find her remains. As really, it sounds like it's Mission Impossible. It really sounds like, how are they going to do that? But I hope they do. There's always hope, right? And man, I hope that Adam just rot in prison. Okay, we don't want to hear from you again. Crickets for Adam. We want that now. At the trial, we didn't like crickets for Adam. We want it now. Crickets, please, be silent. We don't want to see you. We don't want to hear from you. Bye-bye. Okay, so I will keep you posted. Let me actually tell you a side story. Did you know that during the Adam Montgomery trial, Mr. Grizzly and I and our 3 cats, we had 2 cats at the time, now we have 3. We moved from the Netherlands to Switzerland during the trial. If I could give myself a medal for that, I would, because it was like, whoa. Like the trial went from, I don't know on which day it started, but let's say Monday to Friday. I remember the Friday, right, that we finished the trial on the Friday. Monday was a public holiday. We moved on that Monday. Literally packed the moving truck, and they drove then from the Netherlands to Switzerland. And then we flew with our 2 cats, Fury and Willow. We got a 3rd cat here in Switzerland, Pepper, that I'm sure you guys have seen a lot, right? But we flew, landed, checked into an Airbnb, and then the next day we had to go and, get the keys and things for the temporary apartment we were staying in. And so just resumed with the trial. I actually streamed one of the trial days from the Airbnb. It was like, that was a stressful time. That was a tiring time as well. But I was glued to this trial with you. And yeah, I just won't forget that experience. It was quite a lot going on behind the scenes at the time. Anyway, so thank you so much if you watched the trial with me. Thank you for your support. You have no idea how much it always means to me and how much it meant to me then. To know that you guys showed up every day for the trial to watch it with me, it meant the absolute world to me. So thank you, and I will see you in the next one. In the meantime, stay safe.